Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm showing you our homepage of our law firm website because we have implemented. I read about this morning and watched on Brian Fanzo's Twitter feed. And my name is Mitch Jackson. Jackson & Wilson, 30 years of trying cases, 30 years of sharing trial lawyer communication tips for everyone. And this morning I want to share, it's morning here in Southern California, I want to share a communication tip that I picked up this morning by following Brian Fanzo at iSocialFans, his Twitter feed, clicked over to Marcus Sheridan's video. He's at the Sales Lion. That's his Twitter feed. Hey, what's happening? Good to see you guys. Hey, Nicole, good to see you. And what we've done is I took the tip that I noticed this morning on Brian's feed after watching the link that he shared and implemented it already on our website. So it's about finding good tips and then taking action and making them happen. What interested me about this morning's communication tip is it follows up on what I shared this weekend, Sunday morning, while walking and running at Strands Beach. And I talked a little bit about how important the first 2 minutes of your presentation is. And I shared those tips at streaminglawyer.com. This follows up a little bit to the initial impact you need to make with your audience, whether you're speaking, whether you're writing a blog post, whether we're trying cases. And what Brian shared on his Twitter stream was a link to the Sales Lion, and it's a blog post that Marcus wrote, 3 keys to creating a perfect first paragraph to every blog post you write. And so obviously Marcus's post had to do with writing blog posts, but I think it applies, thanks for the hearts, I think it applies to really anytime you're trying to communicate. What Marcus talks about, and I encourage you to go check out his video, and once again the link is in Brian's Twitter feed, but he talks about in the first paragraph, and it's only 2 or 3 minutes, he talks about how you want to correctly identify yourself as an expert. You want to let the audience know that you have empathy for their situation, for their needs, and that you're sharing unbiased information with your audience. And if you can do all that in the first paragraph of your blog post, then you'll be well along your way to accomplishing whatever your goals may be, selling a product, building a new relationship. And it's worth clicking over and listening to how Marcus shares his tips because he gives you a good example. And his example has to do with selling swimming pools. So what we did is I was so impressed by the example that Marcus shared that we then took his swimming pool example, switched some things around, and incorporated that approach to our law firm. So if you would like to see how we've taken a swimming pool example shared in a Twitter feed by Brian Fanzo, linking over to the Sales Lion page, watching a 3-minute video, and then incorporating that content onto our, if you go to jacksonandwilson.com, it's also at mylawyerrocks.com, the very beginning here, okay, if you listen to the video of Marcus, what we share at the very beginning of our website, you'll see the correlation between how he works through expertise, empathy, and being unbiased with how we shared the same aspect with consumers looking for lawyers. So the only thing I would add is what Marcus shared is great for a blog post. If you're doing a presentation, if you're a lawyer giving an opening statement, if you're standing up and addressing an audience, I actually think before going through these 3 steps, for me, what works really well is to take your audience back in time so you're having a present day conversation with them in a 1 to 2, maybe 3-minute story fashion. You're laying out why you're there. You're laying out a quick snapshot of your case, a quick snapshot of why you're standing in front of your audience. And then I think in the second part of your presentation, after the first 1 or 2 minutes, you can then lead into what Marcus shares in his blog post. I think that would work really, really well. So, check out the link. It's, I don't have it in front of me, but go to iSocialFans, that's Brian Fanzo's Twitter stream, and check down and you'll see the reference that Brian retweeted out with respect to Marcus Sheridan at the Sales Lion. Once again, Marcus's article is 3 keys to creating a perfect first paragraph to every blog post you write, and then, hey Steve, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. And then use these techniques in your blog post. Use these techniques when you're presenting. Oral presentation, an audio presentation, a video presentation. And like I said, I think this is pretty cool. And we, instead of talking about swimming pools, what we talked about is every year, we at Jackson and Wilson meet with hundreds of people in Orange County and throughout California. The two most common questions they want answers to are, number one, how can a lawyer help them with their catastrophic injury or wrongful death case? And number two, I'm going to change that. How do they know if they're talking to and hiring the right lawyer? And then we go into a conversation, one similar to the example that Marcus gave, talking about swimming pools. Swimming pools have nothing to do with lawyers. You can take an idea from another industry, you can tweak it, you can disrupt it, and you can incorporate it into what you're doing. So that's what we did here. I like to think that I walked my talk, had a great tip this morning, implemented it, put it up, and now we're going to tweak the language a little bit. So if you go to jacksonandwilson.com and you look at this language, I've already noticed a couple of typos. I need to get my front office to make some changes. We'll probably hyperlink some of this language to specific posts, but I think it's going to be really effective. And that's why I wanted to take the time and just connect with everybody out there regarding this Monday morning or Monday afternoon, depending on where you are, communication tip. I think it's killer, and I hope you also incorporate it into your work efforts, and let me know what you think. So if you like this tip, let Brian know, let Marcus know, retweet this out, and we'll be sharing more tips each and every week. We'll also be sharing live streaming tips for businesses that want to incorporate live streaming into their weekly agenda. We're also going to be sharing trial attorney tips to help make good trial attorneys great trial lawyers, and some personal stuff, just stuff that I'm interested in, and I hope you will be too. So that's it, guys. Thanks for stopping by and visiting with me on Periscope. You guys have a great Monday. Put this tip to work. Share your examples, if you would, please. When you do put these tips to work, share a link with me. I'd be happy to share it with my audience. And let's just all continue to work together to raise the bar. That's what it's all about. Cheers to you, Steve. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. My name is Mitch Jackson. I'm on Twitter @Mitch Jackson, and I'd like to remind everyone to make today their masterpiece. Bye-bye.